Okay, hey, welcome to the Business Owner Book Club. If you missed our meeting, I'm making this video just to go over what we went through today. And so follow along, it's going to be great. Of course, our purpose is to help business owners gain confidence and knowledge in running their business through reading, finishing, and applying books that drive revenue. The agenda, what we're going to go over is we're going to do a brief overview of chapter 7. I'm going to show a role play, which you guys should all go over, which would be great. And then we'll go over chapters 8 through 10, then wrap up and talk about next week. And hopefully you guys can join next week. So we're reading, if you aren't familiar with Never Split the Difference, it's a negotiations book by Chris Voss, former FBI agent. Wonderful, wonderful book. It's been my favorite so far and most applicable. It's been so fun. We've gone over all of the chapters. We're going to go over chapter 7 through 10 today. And then, so chapter 7, which is, my screen is covering it, create the illusion of control. And it talks about a ton about calibrated questions and how calibrated questions help the other person feel that they are in control. They help the other person feel like they came to the conclusion that you want. Calibrated questions are open-ended questions that start with what or how. I accidentally did a typo. It's how, not why. And you're supposed to give the tone that you're asking for help. Some examples are what about this is important to you? What about this works? What does not work for you? What are we trying to accomplish here? What is it that brought us into this situation and how can I help make this better for you? How would you like me to proceed? How can we solve this problem? How am I supposed to do that? And the book uses the last one a ton. How am I supposed to do that? So here's a role play. Here's a role play. Ultimately, these are all great principles to know, but if you cannot apply it, well, then it really doesn't do anything for you. So we want to apply it. And so here's some great questions to go over to help you apply it. Um, there are 20 questions, 10 on the left, 10 on the right. Go over it. Um, I'll move so you can see those ones. And if you missed it, pause the video, go back, pause the video, go over those questions. They're really good. Some of them are business, some of them are relationship. They're all just different questions. And so go over those questions and practice calibrated questions. For example, number 7, the renovate on the left. The renovations are going to cost 8,000 more than the original quote. And a calibrated question is, how am I supposed to pay 8,000 more than I was quoted? That's way out of my budget. That's a calibrated question. So just go through them and practice them. Chapter 8 is guarantee execution. Make sure that yes is a real yes. If you remember in chapter 3 or I think chapter 4, there were three types of yeses. The third yes was the commitment yes, and that's what we want. Other yeses are just to get more information or to get us to stop bugging them. Ultimately, we want the commitment yes. And so chapter 8 teaches us how to make sure that we have gotten that yes. Yes is nothing without how. We need to find out, are there deal breakers that haven't been talked about? How on board is your team? What expectations do you have? What expectations are on you? Find out what are the deal breakers. You could even ask, are there any deal breakers that we haven't talked about? Just find out the deal breakers. There's the rule of three, get them to say yes. In the book, it also talks about get them to say no, meaning yes to the thing three times. An example is you can summarize and label and ask, is that right? Or they will say that is right. Um, Not you're right, but it is right. How will this plan be done? How will we track if we get off track? Ask questions to get them to say yes or go over the how of the agreement. And watch for liars. There's a rule that You watch the words, the tone, and body language, but body language is 55% of what you need to watch, and words I believe is 8, and tone I believe is 22. So words, tone, and body language, and so those are things to watch for if they're lying. And there's more in chapter 8, but it's a wonderful, wonderful chapter. Chapter 9, bargain hard. The golden rule is treat others how you want to be treated. The platinum rule, which we are supposed to go by, is treat others how they want to be treated. Figure out what kind of people they are. We're going to go over this, the analyst, the accommodator, the assertive. Figure out who they are and prepare. Prepare goals, prepare labels, and calibrate questions specifically designed for the person you're negotiating with. And then learn to take a punch or an extreme anchor without getting emotional. Real good negotiators will set extreme anchors, and you have to not get emotional, be able to take that punch and give a punch back, and another extreme anchor, to be a good negotiator. And so, while you're asking and mirroring and labeling, you need to figure out, are they an analyst, accommodator, assertive? And so if you can figure that out, you figure out how to negotiate with that person. For example, the analyst hates surprises. So you will never surprise an analyst during a negotiation. Um, and you can look at this, take a screenshot. It'll also be in school, in the course, and also I'll post it there. But look at this. Because this is how to prepare for the different type of people. Chapter 10, the last chapter that wraps the whole book up. Find the black swan, find the unknown unknown, the key information not talked about that can change the negotiation. That's what we got to find. The black swan lives where emotion lives. In religion, in life experiences, in their hopes and dreams, if there's emotion there, that's usually where you'll find the black swan. And you got to probe a little bit. You got to ask the right calibrated questions. So, how do you find the black swan? You mirror and you label, get them talking, get them comfortable, get them feeling heard. Then you listen. You listen carefully. Listen between the lines and read between the lines, review notes and cross check, and then ask calibrated questions, which we went over. If you do all of this, you'll find out the black swan, the key information, and that gives you leverage to in the negotiation, so you can win the negotiation. So you don't have to split the difference. So the black swan is vital, very, very important chapter, wonderful chapter 2, with a very fantastic story. All of them have great stories, but this one I think had my favorite story about the bank robber. And so we went through final thoughts. So think back on this book. What are your final thoughts? How did you like it? What did you like? What did you not like? How are you going to apply the book? How just really think about those questions. What are you going to do differently in your life? So my invitation is write down specifically how you will use and apply the lessons in the book. What principles are you going to use and apply specifically? If you're going to use all of them, write all of them down. Um, what can you improve on? Write that down. Write down specifically how you will use and apply lessons in this book. And now for January of 2026, next Thursday, I think it's the first, will be our first meeting, and we're going to go over Pitch Anything. It's a book by Orrin Claff. It should be a great book. I haven't read it yet. I will read it during the month of January, but I have watched an overview, and there was a lot of effort that went into this book. So I'm excited for it. It should be good. It gets great reviews. Um, and yeah, we are so excited. If you're watching this, you're either going back or you missed this week, and we missed you if you did. We're excited to have you in the future, whether you're coming next week on the first, or maybe it's March or later in the year, and you're just going over this book. Welcome to the Business Owner Book Club. We're happy to have you here, happy to serve you, and we want to help you read, finish, and apply books that bring real life revenue. And also to have confidence in your business because of these books. And so thank you. Thank you all for joining.